And here we are on Ascension to Ayur for the third best of 5 of the evening. Spawning to the top left hand corner in green is our Zerg player from Russia. It's Kyuubi. And to the bottom right in purple, playing Zerg for the US, it's Wryza. Going for a quick pool and going for a quick extractor and pool. And I think, again, that's just a brilliant idea, maybe a little bit too easy to expect for her opponent. But I think it's great because of two different reasons. I mean, first of all, Kyuubi is known to be a very aggressive player. So if you really want to keep up with her, you probably need to play aggressive yourself, otherwise you're just going to die. And then on the other hand, of course, Wryza is... I mean, she didn't directly qualify for the round of 8, and Kyuubi finished Athena League in rank 2 with actually only one loss, and that is the one to Wise Scion. So, on paper, Wryza is heavily not favored in this match. So again, playing a cheese or 2, or maybe even 3, might be a good idea for her in order to overwhelm her opponent. So, like I said, even if you don't really want to win with only cheese, because it's skillless, or whatever people say about it, then, an opinion I actually don't share, then, yeah, it still would be a wise idea to prepare for the early push, because that is just what Kyuubi is going for. So, even sending the links around the detour route, so that the overlords of Wryza will not realize that something is headed towards her own base. Wryza, though, will probably have no problem defending it, should she want to defend it. Actually, it seems as if she wants to do the very same thing. Just wants to send 4 links around. Unfortunately, she... okay, no, never mind. Picks the route that the overlord will see. So, of course, now even better for Kyuubi, knowing that her opponent has actually just sent a lot of links away from the second base, and this time around it seems that both players will just, yeah, go for almost a base race scenario here. So Kyuubi will go in, find the hatchery unprotected, but so will Wryza probably. But Kyuubi, of course, I mean, Kyuubi does not have the Baning Nest finished yet. Wryza does have it finished. There's a queen in place, plus a few units for Wryza as well, and Wryza actually takes out the push of Kyuubi completely, while wreaking havoc inside the natural base of Kyuubi herself, actually getting way more damage dealt. Taking out the initial queen, well, actually not getting one of these workers, but has more links here, and is already getting a few Banes, but in the meantime the Baning Nest has finished up for Kyuubi as well. So now we will again go into the good old Ling-Baneling wars, and I don't know if Wryza's micro will be superior to that of her opponent here. So there we have them, the first 2 Banes. Well, the first 2 Baneling connections of Wryza did nothing, detonated 2 Banelings by hand, while nothing were around them, and now only getting 1 Baneling. Kyuubi in the meantime trying to get these 2 Banelings with only 1. Okay, and now running in there, still 2 Banelings, but they're very, very far away. 2 more links getting taken out, now tries to get in with 1 Baneling here, 1 gets taken out by one of the links. And yeah, okay, Kyuubi just retreating, trying to intercept the Baneling with this 1 queen over here. And I think for now the aggression should hold. We already see Wryza already retreating into her own base, while Kyuubi is sending more and more links across the map that tried to run around the rest of them. Is already morphing a few Banelings here, and the aggression continues from Kyuubi's side. More and more links in production for Wryza, but she does not have any Banelings, so she needs to micro against these Banelings pretty well. Actually getting at least 1 good shot, taking out 1 Baneling with only 1 or 2 links here. But okay, never mind, there are the next 2 Banelings, so she might actually be able to get those. Oh, actually gets them quite nice there. So now it's actually more links for Wryza, I think, plus 2 more Banelings. So she will be able to actually keep this from doing more damage, but still, I mean, Kyuubi is at 48 to 38 supply. She has a few more links. She also has way more workers at home because she's just investing into 1 or 2 drones every once in a while also keeping up the pressure here, just getting the better economy bit by bit. Another good connection there with Banelings, killing off most of the Banelings of Kyuubi here, and again, Wryza just holds magnificently. So great micro there by our US Berserk here. ZvZ, we can see, actually one of Wryza's favorite matchups, I think. And she's really showing a good game so far, but like I said, just bit by bit, Kyuubi was making sure that she would keep up the pressure, not letting her opponent macro up, while she herself was just getting the additional drone here and there, and is now going straight into the Roach one. Will probably take a 3rd base straight away, and there it is, while her opponent might actually just be too scared in order to take a 3rd wide now, which you would desperately need to do in order to keep up, or preparing for a counter push that would just kill the 3rd of Kyuubi's there. Okay, trading a little bit inefficiently here with the links, but it still was kinda okay-ish. More Banelings being morphed, but being retreated as well, so seems as if Kyuubi just doesn't want to sacrifice more and more. Workers also retreats with this Overlord a little bit, just in case Queens would move out, trying to kill it and take the vision away. And Wryza going for the counter-attack, like I said, and she needs to do this desperately. She doesn't have a 3rd base incoming for her own and will eventually fall back. Oh, but there's the F2 move. Ah, very unfortunate there. Yeah, just seeing that a lot of these links were running, or were trying for a run-by that actually did not really do anything, but did the F2 command and unfortunately pulled back all of the Zerglings that could already be over here nibbling away at that hatchery, but now it finishes. Okay, actually good! A good Baneling connection, or actually luring out the Baneling connection there by Wryza, but there's 3 more Banelings, and now it's even upwards the ramp, so it's actually pretty, ooh, nice move there by Wryza. Even wanted to send 3 links above, on top of that ramp to scout if potential Banelings were over there. The Overlord, unfortunately, is seeing everything for Wryza there, and she's already moving the Banes in position. Also has some Roaches in place as well, so can just easily send the Roaches forward, taking out these Banelings without any risk. And yeah, now she's heavily favored. Now, this game has swung into her favor immediately, with a 3rd base already done, no 3rd base whatsoever incoming for Wryza. Wryza still being on Ling Tech, trying to get into Aspire, but even if she gets it out in time, it will she won't have that many resources in order to produce muters, like 6, maybe 7 muters at most, and then they still have to hatch. Will take quite some time to take this out. Not a nice Baneling connection, but it did not really do that much, taking out the other 2 Banelings. But yeah, these forces that she has on the ground will get crushed immediately, especially against this Banelings that she can't even really engage. Kyuubi does not even try to take out these workers here with the Banelings. Now is moving in with all of the Roaches, and like I said, the only thing that would work for Wryza would be the Muters, but they are too late. 100 to 37, I think, is already saying everything. And like I said, I mean, even if she cleaned this up eventually, she's down on 1 base that's almost mined out, having lost 25 workers, 48 to 18. Kyuubi just droning up like crazy right behind it. She knows she can afford it. There's no way that Wryza will be sending any aggression towards her way now, and expect GG any minute. There it is, and Kyuubi takes the first map. Here we are on Sequencer, the second map of this best of 5. Spawning to the bottom left in green we have Kyuubi leading 1-0, and to the top right it's Wryza, who went for a quick gas into pool. Let's see what she wants to do this time around. She deliberately chose Sequencer as the second map. So let's see if she wants to go for an early hatch this time around, or if she just wants... yeah, she does want to do that. While her opponent does the same. It's pretty common. Sequencer, it's such a huge map that you can usually get through with a hatch first build, even against an aggressive player, like both of these players are. So we will probably see some sort of macro game out of these two, but let's see what's actually happening. So far both of them are just mirroring each other, with a little bit quicker extractor there for Kyuubi, and also a little... no, actually spawning pool is almost the same time. Yeah. Like identical. So let's see if Wryza will be able to overwhelm her opponent this time around, or if the Baneling Wars will again favor Kyuubi in the end. Which is probably what most people expect to happen, but still. Game isn't over until the fat lady sings. And I'm not referring to myself by saying that. So, first 6 Zerglings on the way. So, will again be a heavy push by Kyuubi. Well, actually, 6 Lings is the minimum amount of making something happen on the other side of the map, if you really want to make something happen. We'll see if she continues producing Lings or not, but for now it's only drones. So she probably just wants to deal some early damage, apply some pressure, maybe making the opponent freak out because they see that they already have... okay, also going for Baneling Nests, so that's actually a nice thing there. Can just send these Lings across the map, waiting for the Baneling Nest to finish, then just morph a few into Banelings. And it doesn't matter then if your opponent has a few Lings out already, or just a few drones, or maybe even Banes of their own. You can most likely treat... you can probably most likely trade at least cost efficiently, maybe better. No, actually, Kyuubi retreating completely here. After seeing what was going on, especially with the spine crawler here inside the mineral line. So does not really want to commit to morphing Banelings, probably just wants to make sure that the third base has not been taken. So sends the Lings over the map across to there. This one overlord by Wryza, a little bit sloppy there, will die. So Lings haven't checked for the third base. She might still want to use them in order to make a run by once Wryza's units move across the map, but Wryza going for a quick third base, really wants to play an extensive macro game, but so is Kyuubi, and her third base is almost already done, and she will have 1 gas more available and also a few more mineral patches, so no matter what, it is up to Wryza to take the initiative. So here we go, big Baneling! Big Ling party happening in the middle of the map. There's 1 Baneling, and if Wryza is not careful and is not trying to take it out before it... okay, actually gets it. So that's actually very nice there, getting almost every Ling outside the map with everything she had. So she might actually be able to just take out everything. There's only Lings so far for Kyuubi here, and the Lings actually die to Wryza's Kyuubi. Mostly the Queen is also dead. Seems as if Wryza, with a surprise attack that Kyuubi was not prepared for, might actually be able to clean off a lot of stuff here and maybe able to snowball the game eventually. Finally the Banelings roll in. But a lot of drones and Lings have already died in the process. Wryza has to be careful to be prepared for a possible counterattack that is very certainly going to happen. But she herself is relentless, just sending across more and more Lings. 18 more in production, even getting a few Banelings of her own. So far, this game could actually turn into Wryza's favor, trying to get the Banelings with some Banelings detonations of her own, but does not really get them. So, a lot of Banelings detonating into Lings, still a few Banes left. Only Bane now. Okay, there's 2 Banes more. Let's see if Wryza actually sees them. Okay, has more Banelings incoming from behind as well. Great game so far by Wryza. The only thing she needs to do now is just take out these remaining Banelings and just keep up with her injects at home, of course. Because Kyuubi has already remade that second queen here and also has 3 bases worth of lava in order to produce Lings, so eventually she might be able to outproduce her opponent, but it seems as if Wryza will be, no, just barely not able to take out that queen down here. The remaining Morph Banes, okay, will actually be able to take out a few more workers, but it was not really worth it. 2 more Banes detonating into the queen, not even taking it down. That was a little bit wasteful there. Should have probably just waited a little bit longer for more Lings to arrive, like these few, in order to make better use of the Banes, but was probably just being overwhelmed by the heat of the moment there. Okay, a few Lings coming in from the right-hand side. We'll lose already a few. This could have been a very problematic Baneling connection over there. In the meantime, Kyuubi trying to take out these Banes over here. Sending a lot of Banes over to the right-hand side, while the Banes over to the left-hand side just morph. Still this base heavily undersaturated, but that is kinda okay. Only 6 workers behind. Just needs to make sure to not lose at that point in the game. Wryza is not producing anything else but army units, while again, Kyuubi is just filling in an additional drone here or there, while also building a lot of units. Ooh, yeah, this could have been really problematic there. Might, again, we'll just try to move these units. Why no! Whoa, that could have been just the worst Baneling explosion ever for Wryza, and now it seems as if Kyuubi will eventually, after this small mistake, moving too far into a group of Banelings. Yeah, ooh, actually that could have been a nice move there for Wryza. Unfortunately, was just too early firing up that one Baneling. And now it's just Lings against Lings, Banelings incoming from behind, Wryza moving inside the main base, but it seems as if Kyuubi will have enough Lings anyways in order to clean this up. Tries to take out the queen inside the main base and gets it. 40 more Zerglings in production, but Kyuubi now, of course, with a counterattack, realizing that she's just annihilated most of Wryza's forces. Another Ling meeting on the middle of the map. But Wryza retreats for now. We'll get a lot of Lings back here as well, so we'll just join forces and then probably attack once more. Needs to attack quickly or else these Banelings will morph as well. Kyuubi just realizes how many there are, tries to lure the Lings into the Banelings and it almost gets them, but does not get them eventually. So Wryza also trying to get a few workers out here and there. Worker count by now is 36 to 28. So like I said, it paid out for Kyuubi to just putting in a queen, putting in a worker here or there. So now she has the better income, has scared her opponent back, has held the push, and can eventually now get into high attack. Seems as if she wants to go into Mutas right behind this. So checking for a base down here, there's none there. She knows about this base, so never mind. Maybe just wants to park them for run-bys as well, or just wants to make sure that this base gets delayed should a drone move down here in order to take one. So, roaches for Wryza, but like I say, I mean that could actually work out, but a roaches also for Kyuubi, so never mind. We already have a roach horn down here, but I overlooked it. So this layer is probably only for roach speed and not for Spire. Or will it? Yeah, there it is. Roach speed for Kyuubi. No layer even for Wryza, so she needs to hit, and hit soon. She cannot really wait for Kyuubi's glial reconstitution to finish. Of course she doesn't know that her opponent is already going for it, although she can probably expect it to happen. She definitely needs a lair, but she's so occupied with producing units non-stop for another big push, and that big push will be the all-in push. It either is going to kill Kyuubi or afterwards Wryza is going to be dead. So one more Banelings and Lings morphing in. We also have some Ravagers around. Kyuubi running. Ooh, I could actually get a good Baneling connection with a few of these Lings, shaving them off. Yeah, trying to get into these units, but there's already Roaches and Ravagers She definitely does not want to engage here, so she moves around the base over to the left-hand angle, but there is also an overlord seeing the army movement. There are overlords everywhere actually seeing the army movement, so Kyuubi is always aware of where her opponent is, even though she right now has the a little bit slower army. But yeah, getting everything together, Wryza cannot fight this or engage this at all, should just totally retreat and wait for her own roaches to arrive. But in the meantime, I think... Oh, even taking that 5 was actually the worst decision she could have gotten. She could have gone for. And now the army of Kyuubi is moving across the map, and it's already bigger than what Wryza has. Wryza still has not started a lair, so will even not be able to get another upgrade after this one. And yeah, I mean, this army is just too small. It does not have Ravagers in it at all. More Ravagers being morphed. Yeah, this engagement cannot be won by Wryza. I mean, she's luring the units back into a better concave, which is nice. So maximizing the damage she can deal. But yeah, even having the defensive advantage, it just does not matter. There's just too many powerful units inside Kyuubi's mix, and there are too many of them. So again, expect to see GG any minute, Tasteless, and there it is. Kyuubi takes the second map as well. Abyssal Reef is our third map. Spawning to the bottom right in green we have Kyuubi. And to the top left we have Wryza. Map with a very short rush distance, so I expect to see both players going for gas into pool and not a hatch first. Especially since, yeah, that is pretty small of an entrance, but you have this wide opening to the right hand side as well. So it's rather difficult to keep units outside your bases. And there we go. Pool, gas first. Oh, Ra's actually going for pool first even, and then gas. Fairly interesting. Will not really accomplish her that much. Actually, her own speed will be delayed by a little because of this. Looks like she made a little bit of a mistake there, effed up her own build order there a little bit. So, now going for the base, as is Kyuubi. Little bit earlier though for Wryza this time around. And here comes the base for Kyuubi. Went for an additional drone before going into the hatch. So spawning pool will be done, and so will the 100 gas that Kyuubi needs in order to get out speed as quickly as possible. And here it comes. Oh, not quite now. Actually wants to have the clean out a little bit more quickly. But still, her gas will be done, her speed will be done a little bit earlier than that of Wryza's, which can make a difference. Doesn't really need to. There's the speed for Wryza, so it's only about a 10-second difference. That's not really an important timing window. And again, the typical 6 links being sent across the map using the detour so that they won't get spotted by the overlords. So all you Zerg players out there, remember this: should you ever face Kyuubi on ladder, you know she will send 6 links towards you that you won't be able to see. So prepare for it. Bailing Nest in the making for Wryza, Bailing Nest in the making for Kyuubi, both just mirroring the builds. It is a mirror matchup after all, so there they are, 6 links, but 4 links already out for Wryza, plus a queen. Nothing there to be done for Kyuubi. Retreats for now. Will probably keep them close by so that you will be able to morph them into Banes and move in once the Bailing Nest and the speed is done. So in the meantime, getting a few more drones here and there while... Oh, actually, yeah, Wryza's getting a few more drones, while Kyuubi is totally committing to more and more links, going for full-out aggression there. So that could become problematic for Wryza if she's underprepared, not getting any help here in order to defend this, like spine crawlers or walling off this area or whatever. And here the big push is coming, more and more links and banelings being rallied and morphed. So Wryza needs to realize this, needs to realize that her opponent will go, yeah. Okay, Kyuubi actually even just sending the queen in order to snipe that one overlord. So that, okay, but that is a nice move. That is actually a very nice move. Okay, only sees links, does not see the big amounts of banelings that are being morphed above here, and also somewhere still keep left. Okay, now she sees the big amount of links, but it might already be too late. These links will cross the map so quickly, it's ridiculous. 8 more in the making for Kyuubi, 4 only for Wryza. She has 3 Banes, but there's also banelings incoming for Kyuubi, and I can't really see Wryza holding this, especially, okay, that was like the best baneling connection she could have hoped for, but unfortunately she does not have any additional forces back at home. Kyuubi even morphing banelings right in the face of her opponent, and if opponent can do that, it's never a good sign. GG, well played, and Kyuubi takes a convincing 3-0 and advances to the semifinals.